Right, good morning friends. So now continuation to our analytical learning, what we are going to learn here, combining inductive and analytical learning. So what we have observed, what is the inductive learning, we have learned very carefully and we have seen several examples, several training examples we have seen. And what we have implemented with neural network concepts or decision tree concepts, and what we observed with whatever the changes we how to solve the problems with analytical learning also we have seen, and we observed some drawbacks in inductive learning and analytical learning. Suppose if you are going to combine both these techniques, inductive and analytical learning techniques, what are the benefits we are going to get, how accurately we are going to define a system which is going to be useful for us in order to define the target concept. So our intention is to develop a system which is going to give good results. Yes, sir. So whether it is inductive learning or what we consider analytical learning, but what we have to identify, so we have to do things with more accurately. Yes or no? So here what we are going to do, we are going to learn the concepts which are related to how can we combine inductive learning and analytical learning. So listen carefully. So here what we are going to cover, the motivation behind for combining both the techniques, and that means what is the reason for combining the what we observed, like that inductive learning drawbacks and analytical learning drawbacks. How can we cover all those things? That is the motivation. And inductive analytical approaches. So how can we combine those two techniques, and how can we implement a new learning concept that we are going to see, and using prior knowledge to initialize the hypothesis. So here whenever we are going to define the hypothesis space and how the prior knowledge is going to be useful for us, how it is going to influence the hypothesis space, and here we are going to discuss about KBANN algorithm. So knowledge based artificial neural network algorithm. K for knowledge, B for based, A for artificial neural network. So knowledge based artificial neural network algorithm is going to be used as a technique which is going to define the, or which is going to be initialize the hypothesis space. And here what we are going to use, the prior knowledge is going to alter the search objectives, whatever the objectives which we are going to be defined for the target concept. In order to alter such objectives, here we are going to use two different types of techniques, that is tangent trap algorithm and EBNN algorithm. So using these two techniques which we are going to learn, how can we alter the search object. So EBNN algorithm in the sense explanation based neural network algorithm. And one more thing, we are going to concentrate on using the prior knowledge argument search operators. How can we redefine the search operators which are related to target concept, that we are going to learn with the help of FOCL algorithm. So these are the things which are going to be covered in this topic. Okay. So one is what is the reason for combining both the techniques, and how can we combine both the techniques, and what are the background knowledge, whatever the prior knowledge or the domain theory background knowledge which is going to influence the hypothesis space, and which is going to influence the search objectives, and which is going to influence the search operators, that we are going to discuss here. See there, inductive and analytical learning. So the goal for inductive learning is hypothesis fits the data. Yes, absolutely. So whatever the training examples which we are going to be consider, so that is going to fit the hypothesis. And in case of analytical learning, hypothesis fits domain theory. So background knowledge is going to play the major role in case of hypothesis. And justification, statistical inference and deductive inference. So here each and everything statistically we are able to measure, but in case of analytical, what we are going to consider logical things. So it is not able to define properly, so the logic which we are going to be followed to define the target concept. And what are the advantages? Requires little prior knowledge. In case of statistical analysis or inductive learning, whatever the training examples which we are going to be gather, so which requires only little bit of knowledge to identify whether those examples are going to target, those examples are going to concentrate on target concept or not. But in case of analytical learning, it learns from scarce data. Obviously, pitfalls. What are the drawbacks which we are going to be observed in inductive learning, scarce data and incorrect bias. And in case of analytical learning, imperfect domain theory. So whenever we are going to have a domain theory which is not going to give all positive statements, in that case we are going to get the failure results. And a spectrum of learning tasks. So spectrum of learning tasks, inductive learning. So in case of inductive learning, no prior knowledge is required, plentiful data. So we are moving towards the analytical learning, so where we are going to observe. So this is analytical learning, perfect prior knowledge, scarce data. So here no prior knowledge, but the plentiful of data we are going to have. Here the less data, more prior knowledge which we require for analytical learning. So most practical learning problems lie somewhere between these two extremes of the spectrum. So here, whenever we are going to use the inductive learning or analytical learning, in both the techniques we are going to observe some drawbacks, some pitfalls. So that is those are the things which are going to be influence the target class. So here one more thing we need to consider: what kinds of learning algorithms can we devise that make use of approximate prior knowledge together with available data to form general hypothesis. So what we are going to define the generalization in hypothesis, what we require. So what are the minimum number of training examples which require, and it combines with prior knowledge so that we are able to define the hypothesis in more generalized way. So domain independent algorithm that employ explicitly input domain dependent knowledge. So what are the desirable properties? So no domain theory, learn as well as inductive methods, obviously. So if you do not have any domain theory, what we are going to consider, all the training examples only we need to consider. And perfect domain theory, then learn as well as analytical methods. If the domain theory is available, then we are going to use the analytical methods. If the domain theory is not available, we are going to use the inductive methods. Imperfect domain theory and imperfect training data combines to outperform either the inductive or analytical method. So if we are going to have the imperfect trainee data or imperfect domain theory, what it leads? It leads to get the failure results, whether it is inductive method or analytical method. Accommodate arbitrary and unknown errors in domain theory. So whatever the domain theory which we are going to be considered, so what we need to complete and correct. So all the statements must be correct, and all the content which we are going to be considered, that must be in a position to satisfy completeness. And accommodate arbitrary and unknown errors in training data. So whatever the training data we need to consider, so if it is going to have any errors, those errors should be eliminated. What is given? A set of training examples possibly containing errors, a domain theory possibly containing errors, a space of candidate hypothesis. So initially whatever we are going to consider the training examples, there might be chance for getting the errors, and whatever the domain theory we are going to be considered, those also contains error. So what you have to define, a determine hypothesis that best fits the training examples and domain theory. So whatever the hypothesis which we are going to be target concept, that should be defined with the help of proper training examples and proper domain theory concepts. And learning as a task of searching through hypothesis space. So whenever you are going to learn the task, so it depends: hypothesis space, initial hypothesis, set of search operators, and the goal criteria. So whatever the objective which we are going to be defined, and what are the operators we need to consider, and what is the initial hypothesis, those are all the things we need to consider for solving any problem. So what are the methods which are using with the prior knowledge? So drive an initial hypothesis which is going to begin the search process, alter the objectives, whatever the objective which we are going to be target class, so that should be identified, and alter the available search steps. So what we need to find out, alternative methods also we need to find out, in how best we are going to develop a system which is going to satisfy our needs. So here we are going to have the two steps: initialize the hypothesis to perfectly fit the domain theory, whatever the domain theory which we are going to be defined, so that is going to be fit all with the help of all the initialization. Inductively refine the initial hypothesis as needed to fit the training. If any the training examples which are not going to define properly hypothesis space, then what we are going to add, we need to refine it. So we need to create a new rule, or we need to define a new rule that should be added to the existing one, so that we are able to cover, are able to consider the completeness of domain theory. And here what is the technique which we are going, knowledge based artificial neural networks. So here what we are require a set of training examples. A domain theory consists of non-recursive proportional Horn classes, and what we are going to determine a neural network that fits the training examples based on the domain theory. So here we are going to observe the KBNN algorithm. There we are going to see two steps. One is analytical step and another one is inductive step. So we have to analyze the things and we have to define the network. If it is not going to satisfy our needs, then we need to find out the pitfalls. We need to define a new rule, and that should be added to the existing one. In case of inductive step, what we are going to do, refine the initial network. Whatever the network which we have considered, it is not able to satisfy our needs, or it is not able to give the right solution, then what we have to do, we have to integrate the addition of two rules. So that we need to consider. See here, one example is given. What is the example? The cup learning task. So generally, some teacup, you people are aware of it, right? The teacup. So what are the teacup learning task? What is the domain theory which is given to us about the cup? About the cup, it is given, it should be stable, it should be liftable, open vessel. See there, stable, liftable, open vessel. So something which we are going to use some vessel which requires, I want to have a tea, I want to have a coffee. So what I require, I require a vessel which is going to be liftable. So that means we have to be able to lift that. Then it should open vessel. Open vessel in the sense it is going to have container type of things. So it is able to hold the things. And stable, if you are able to place on table, it should be have some flat bottom. So then only it is able to place on table. Yes or no? So stable in the sense bottom is flat. See there, stable in the sense bottom is flat, and liftable in the sense graspable or light. So if it is having much weight, then it is not possible to lift it. Yes or no? Graspable in the sense has handle. So whenever if you want to have it, so what it should have, some handle should be there. So those are the things which require for the cup properties. The open vessel has concavity and concavity points. So open vessel concavity is there, concavity points are going to be defined. And these are the training examples which what are going to be cup and non-cup. So what is the things we need to consider? Bottom is flat, concavity points, expansive, fragile, handle on top, handle on side, hand as connectivity, has handle, light, made of ceramic, made of paper, made of styrofoam. So here whatever the concept which we are going to be defined, it should have some properties. So suppose it should be open vessel. That means open vessel in the sense it is going to be have, see here it is a cup. So what it is, how I want to hold this cup, it requires some, what is this, handle. So the handle should be side handle. If you are going to place handle on the top, we are able to lift, but that is not possible to have the TV. So liftable and stable in the sense the bottom is flat. So if it is flat surface, then only we are able to place on table. Yes or no? And graspable in the sense, so we need to lift this and we need to have it. So it should have some open vessel. So if it is having open vessel, then only we are able to store the whatever the things you need to have. Right here, what are the features which we require to define the cup? So if you look at here, see there, so we are going to define the cup. What are the features we are going to consider? Stable, liftable, open vessel. See there, stability comes from bottom is flat. So here if you observe carefully, there are some dark lines and some dotted lines and some lightweight. So here liftable is the property which has handle and light, and open vessel has concavity. and connectivity points we should have. So here, if you observe carefully, stability is a property which comes bottom as flat. Liftable is strengthened with the help of having the handle and light. Handle should be lightweight, and open visual can has concavity, then concavity points up. And here, this is the way we are going to define the network, and whatever the target features, so which are going to be supported, then we need to draw the thick lines. So if you look at here also, cup, stable, liftable, open vessel. So if you observe carefully, dotted lines. So what is this dotted line? Negatively impact. Negatively impact. So handle on top. Already told you, cup is having handle on top. It is easy to lift that cup, but it is not possible to have the tea or have the so that it cannot be used for grasping. So that is the way we are going to consider this feature as negatively impact, and this feature positively impact. So these are negligible things. So remaining all are we are able to ignore. So the light there are some lines which are light shaded, so those can be removed, those can be ignored. And KBNN versus back propagation. So when given an approximately correct domain theory scarce training data, then what we are going to KBNN generalize more accurately than back propagation. Whatever the back propagation algorithm we learned, so to update the weights which are going to be refine the system or to improve the accuracy of the system, then we have whatever the concept we learned in the back propagation, more than that the KBNN is going to be useful for us. And the KBNN is domain specific theory, back propagation is domain independent syntactic bias towards small weight values. So if you are going to have the less weight values, then we are going to get the failure results with back propagation. But in case of KBNN, it is purely depend on domain specific theory. And using prior knowledge to alter the search objects. Using prior knowledge to alter the search objects.